Oh, is
now we are.
Is it counting that? Oh, we're on.
Whoa, I'm too tall for this. Hold on one second.
Started off like a big boy.
1 second. I'm just gonna clean up the camera really quick because it's a little.
If Adam actually they go to watch, and sees Austin sitting there. Like, what the fuck's going on? Go on.
Well. Hello, everyone. We are back with the 4th installment of Not Another Serious Podcast. As you can clearly tell, Adam is not here today. He has
pneumonia?
Yeah, pneumonia. He'll be back next episode. Don't worry. But today we have a very special co-host, my brother Austin, and yours truly, back again, Nick Bongiovanni. And we have a lot to talk about on tonight's episode, so let's just get right into it. Nick, what happened on tonight's episode?
I have to pull up my notes, big boy. All right. So I don't know if you guys watched tonight, but it was you guys watched. I don't know if they watched, but if you haven't, I wouldn't recommend DVRing and watching it because it kind of sucked. Okay, so we started with the post-nom ceremony. The plan, as they reiterated, was to backdoor Cody, but I think Alex and Paul said they're fine with either Matt or ELENA going. And then they have this really weird, quick talk that didn't really fit the episode where they started discussing Final Five.
Yeah.
Now, I want to pose a quick question to you guys. Paul and Alex seem pretty locked for their Final Five. Yeah. Who are the other 3 they're bringing with them? Nolan, you go first.
Okay, I think that Alex is way too close to Jason right now to cut off any ties from him. They're literally like this. Everyone thinks that Alex and Paul are like this, but that's Jason and Alex. So I think it's gonna be Jason. If Alex and Paul had to pick 3 more people, I think it would be Jason, Christmas, and Josh.
Yeah.
Because I know Josh didn't get a lot of airtime this episode, but he's too under their spell at this point per se that they're just going to drag him along for the ride, and I think he'll go out. I think unless he goes on a run, I think they'll cut him off first in the 5.
Okay, Austin.
I'm genuinely sorry, but Alex should not. If Paul is this mastermind that we keep getting fed this entire season, Alex should not be anywhere near his idea because this jury is going to be bitter because this game got really personal this season. This game, this is like one of the few scenes I'm like, okay, this is where you can be a bitter jury because they got really personal this season. But Alex, to me, is like, if he brings her to the final 2, it's like Nicole 2.0. She can sway the jury and be like, I won all the comps. I was kind of like I was kind of carrying Paul with all these comp wins that I was winning. His final 5, Paul, not Alex, his final 5 should be, I don't know why he's cutting off Matt and Raven. These are 2 people who are just don't know what they're doing.
So you say it should be Matt and Raven, but it's not going to be
It's not going to be Matt and Raven. It's not going to be Matt and Raven, but these are 2 goats, as they call, or piece of furniture. Nobody's ever going to vote for them. Nobody respects their gameplay. They don't even respect their own gameplay. Paul should be like, I'm not cutting off Matt and Raven. Why would I do that? But he's like, oh, we got to get Matt and Raven on next. He should be like, I should get out Alex and Jason. One, they're 2 comp beasts, and they can easily sway the jury because they're well-liked, except for Alex. Not Alex, but Jason's very well-liked. Jason, he should not be thinking about Jason at all. Jason is very dangerous. Jason is very dangerous. This guy who wins comps, or he can win a comp. I believe he can win a comp. And this is a guy who's beloved by everybody in the house. Like, nobody really hates him.
My thing with Jason is that I feel like...
Oh, and Josh and Christmas. Because neither one of those 4 can win the game.
Look, I think to a point, the thing about Jason is that Jason is better at comps than he's relaying to the house. Now, I don't know if that's his personal agenda, his strategy, whatever. But I think, like, for example, there was the one, I believe it was the first Temptation comp where they had to do the ballerina, and they did the ballerina, and he was putting on, like, the show. He was putting on the show like he was a rodeo clown, which he is. But in a way, it was kind of like trying to tell them, look, guys, I'm not as big of a threat as you think. I think that if he really put his mind to it and focused on a competition, he can win a fair amount of competitions and a lot of clutch competitions if they get to Final 4. I think right now he realizes he's in a good situation, and I don't know if I'm giving him too much credit, but I think that he's just putting on a show right now. I think he thinks that he's a bigger character in the show than he actually is. I think he thinks CBS is probably editing him to be this like beloved crazy cowboy guy, but I think he's playing a character.
Okay, so basically the gist of us is Raven and Matt are going to get left out. Mark and ELENA get left out. Kevin probably gets left out, and the other 5 are the final 5 as of right now. Then we see this little segment of Kevin missing his family. He cries inside of a freezer. That was weird.
That's not weird. That's actually I understand it. Like we come from like the East Coast, so we come from like this we're from Jersey.
You can still cry. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to be able to cry.
tough guy like stuff. Macho masculinity is such a big thing in the East Coast. Like everybody wants to be the toughest and stuff like that. So when he said I can't go back home, obviously he wasn't being serious. Like I can't literally go back home. He was like I can't go back home because like my friends are gonna roast me when I get home.
Yeah, I just think that it was funny how CBS literally made it a point to show the DR of him saying I can't go back home if I cry, and then made it a point to zoom in on his face inside of the freezer.
Yeah, by the way, we haven't tweeted about this because Adam's not tweeting.
Yeah, I'll tweet about it.
No, but Cody, my thing is Cody actually showed human side with that. Like, you know, Paul wants to believe that this is all it's a gameplay, but this is a guy who saw another father missing his daughter, and he's a father too. And it was like, I know you can say all you want about Cody, but this was genuinely a good moment from Cody. Cody was like, hey, I'm going to talk to him. I was like, hey, we're fighting. I understand where you're coming from. Like, I have a daughter too and stuff like that. Yeah,
that's what I was going to get to. Okay, so Austin just mentioned that Cody tells Kevin he has a daughter, which hasn't been talked about much on this on the CBS show at all until now. And then I think either after that or right before that, Cody does not get chosen for the Vita, to play the Vita. So that means that Cody has no chance at possibly preventing a backdoor. And something that bothered me about this is that when we talk about Cody, we think of this, like, he's a big character, regardless of if you like him or hate him or whatever you think about his maybe crappy gameplay. He's a character, and to see him go out on a second backdoor, it would suck. So I was really pissed when, one, on the live feeds I found out he didn't get picked, and two, even watching it back on the episode.
I'm with the sentiment of everybody else right now. I hate the backdoor. The backdoor is so overused this season.
It's boring.
I think that, I mean, I disagree. I think that the backdoor is a huge mainstay in Big Brother.
It's never
and it's
gone
a
away.
Great strategy. It's never gone away. It's the obvious strategy to use if you're trying to get out a competitive threat like Cody. I just think that in a season where a lot of people think that this is not riggage, but to a point where Big Brother is like with all the buybacks and everything in the last couple seasons, but I think Cody's just getting like the shit end of the stick at this point. And his name didn't get picked 2 weeks in a row. He didn't get picked. He got picked for the POV, then got the Christmas miracle, and then the next week he just didn't get picked for the POV. I don't know. I think that I'm making a bold statement here. I think that within the next couple seasons, Big Brother's going to do something to not prevent the whole not getting picked out of the hat, but just I feel like it's going to get more people involved, whereas the backdoor is a tougher thing to do than people think. So that it's more of a bold strategy, not a twist, but I don't know. I'm making, again, this is very bold, but I just think that in a case like this where they get a crazy competitive threat out by just strictly him just getting unlucky and not getting picked for the POV, I think that should be prevented. I think that everyone should always get a chance to fight.
But two things. The thing about backdoor is seasons pass and somebody's tried a backdoor, it's like almost always failed sometimes. So it kind of like prevented people from like going towards that strategy. But this season it's worked every single time. So it's like, well, why are we gonna stop that? But I will say this about Cody. He really did get everything handed to him. That comp on Sunday, the Temptation comp, that was catered towards him. Why did he think he was never in the the have-not room? He should have stayed on the HOH room. He knew he was never in the HOH room. Yeah. That was literally them. That was, I hate to say production's like giving stuff, but like production was literally handing him on the silver platter, like, this is the easiest comp in the world. You can win this. And also the POV is just like, no, we can't change the rules just because the character is leaving. Yeah,
it sucks, but we're gonna have to deal unless something crazy happens the next day. He's gonna be going home. However, let's get to the veto first.
Yep.
Okay, so we start with the Outback Steakhouse sponsored veto con.
Dun, dun, dun.
Which, if you like Bloomin' Island, onion.
You like Bloomin' Island, everyone. So Mark starts his comp wearing his shirt tied up, which was incredibly confusing.
that was hilarious.
Yeah, I liked it.
I didn't see. I didn't like it like Austin. I just think it was like.
Whoa. I don't mind me some in a tied shirt. I don't mind that.
Okay. So moving on from that, I when I first saw him, my first reaction was like, what is Mark doing? Because it looked like they offered him the choice between the female version of the outfit or the male version of the outfit. He picked the female.
No. Now he picked the gender neutral version because
There you go.
Okay.
Hey, kudos to Mark.
PC Big Brother. Okay, so Johnny Mac gets a shout out, which was awesome. But then I realized it wasn't just Johnny Mac getting a shout out in this veto comp. It was like Dr. Will.
Yeah.
It was Boogie. It was Judas Straven, Austin Madison. And so in terms of the comp, Paul gets out. He takes the veto. I don't have this written down. He takes the veto. Mark gets out. He takes a trip to Denver. Jason gets out. He takes the I don't know, but he ended up getting extreme tard. Matt gets out. He took the veto. And usually when you get in third place in one of these competitions, you take the veto and you don't keep the veto. But Alex then then we have the biggest moment in the episode where Alex and Elena promise each other, okay, we're not going to be taking, or we're not, we're not going to be cursing each other.
Yeah.
None of us will curse each other. And if you guys don't know what this comp was, it was one of those competitions where the losers get punishments. 3 of the 5 losers get punishments. No, 3 of the 6 get punishments. 2 get prizes. 1 gets a veto.
Okay.
So then Elena gets out, right?
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
No. Alex
is out. Then Elena gets out. But instead of just taking the veto, Elena goes, should I take the $5,000? Alex is like, don't you dare fucking take it. Her DRs were like infuriated.
Yeah.
She was mad. Then Elena looks to King Cody. And King Cody, what does he do, Austin?
He looks at the in his DR. He's like, "Is she actually looking at me for advice?" And he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna tell her what would help me." And he's like, "Take the money." And she's like, "I'll take the money."
Oh, so stupid.
Which I think Elena is aware of the fact. I think she's super paranoid, but at the same time, in this case scenario, she wasn't paranoid at all. She was more worried about getting the $5,000. Then look, I understand everyone in the house being like, if you got $5,000, take it, and I understand that. I'm playing for $500,000. I'm well aware of the fact that $5,000 at the end of the day is going to put more of a target on your back. And also, when you're in a scenario like Elena, where right now, at that point in time, Matt was holding the POV. She had the choice to take it off. If she's aware of the fact, if she took the $5,000 and for some reason, Matt decided to take himself off, which then there's no replacement nominee. It would be Elena versus Jason. And in that case scenario, she goes home 99% of the time, unless something happened where Jason stabbed someone in the house and he went home. And so I don't understand her game move in that situation. But kudos to Cody. I guess it was a spur of the moment thing. She saw Cody say money, which go game Cody.
I don't think. Here's the thing though. I read online and they're like, the DR super editing Cody to be like gamey now and strategic. I read online that like Elena made that decision and Cody was not even an influence. Yeah. But the way they edited, I like that they're editing Cody to be somewhat of a strategic threat because we don't see that at all.
Yeah, I didn't like. Actually, I'm gonna disagree with you. As much as I'm like, you always gotta play for $500,000.
No.
But here's the thing. She's looking at the odds. She's like, okay, it's literally me against the house. I know I'm at the bottom of the totem pole. I'm probably not going to win $500,000. I'm probably not going to get the $50,000. I already got the $8,000 from jury. I think that's what it is.
It's something like that.
$8,000. Why don't I get $13,000? It's a summer. It's worth it. It makes the summer worth it. At least.
I agree. If she wasn't on the block, if she wasn't the 1 or 2 or the 2 or 3 targets, right? Because she's either 2 or 3. Why make that decision when you're on the block? You're sitting up there. You have a chance to take yourself off and be immune for 1 more week. Why risk it this week? Why not risk it when there's money maybe a week down the line or 2 weeks?
Because when is there money on the line?
But like it's a $495,000 mistake. Then.
But no. Here's the thing: is it really a $499,000 mistake? Whatever. Matt. Is it really that? Because what is she gonna? She's probably sees herself. She's like, am I gonna really be that person who just like gung hos everything and just like it's me versus the house, and she just like battles her way every single week to see how much they overuse the back door.
Okay, do you guys agree? I was saying that I'm going to throw out there now to go off this little argument. Hypothetically, who has a better chance out of Elena, Mark, and Cody to kind of get pushed to the side and used as a number for a couple weeks? I would say Elena.
I think Elena, because Elena is the most willing, I believe,
to
go along with the flow. I feel like Mark at this point is too far gone. People have called out his game. And he knows that he's on the outs. I feel like Elena still has that little glimmer of hope that people might still like me. People might still like me. At this point, Cody's way too far gone. But Austin, what do you think?
I disagree. I think it's Mark more than Elena. I think Elena has rubbed Josh and Alex, who are the single most emotional people besides maybe Christmas. On that side of the house, they're so emotional, and they've completely in there. They're like screeching. They're like saying to Paul, no, we can't trust her. We can't trust her. Like, when Mark's like, we don't trust him, but we'll keep him around.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Like, I think it's not that much, not by that much, but I still think ELENA is the most. I think ELENA, besides Cody, is the most far gone.
Now, before we move on with the recap, the rest of the recap, we're looking at the live chat right now. We're going to get the live chat involved. So if you have questions, start asking them. I'll keep them note. By the time we're done recapping, I can have a few questions lined up. So I'm looking at the recap right here on my phone. So if you have any questions, just shoot away.
Awesome. All right, so let me continue with the recap. So we got to the ELENA and Alex argument, where now Alex has this punishment where she has to be a camp guide for the week. And we'll get to what that punishment means. But Alex is infuriated. She's mad. She's like, I'm going to turn this around on ELENA. It's over. I might not take Cody out anymore. In this moment, what are the actual chances of her taking ELENA out over Cody?
Austin, do you have any input on this?
I can see it.
0% chance. Alex needs to get checked. She has no power anymore. After POV, you have no power. Mark said it the best. Mark summed up the season in a nutshell last season. Last episode. He said, it's like Paul has convinced everybody that there's a certain way to play the game. Or there's it's basically a team sport. It's like, it's not a team sport. After HOH, you are the second least powerful person in the house. You have no say in the vote. You can't vote. And you basically, nobody cares. Nobody's going up into your room anymore. Maybe this season they are. But Paul is the most powerful person in the house again. He probably always was. But, like, Alex is like, I'm the queen of petty and stuff like that. Like, and it's like, this is the Bad Girls Club. This isn't Love and Hip Hop. This is Big Brother. Nobody's going to like you for that. Nobody's like, oh, my God, she's so spicy. I love her.
Spicy.
Like, I think at the end of the day, Paul has had a hand in every HOH that hasn't been Cody's or Jess's.
Right.
So, at the end of the day, I think that when you can sit back and throw an HOH comp and still be confident in the fact that you're going to have a hand in it, that's true power in the Big Brother house.
Right.
So right now, Paul is more powerful than any HOH that can win, unless it was Cody or at this point Mark, which we'll get back into that later.
Right. So Matt ends up winning the veto. After all this commotion, Matt wins the veto. He gets his well-deserved DR of the week. Awesome. Good for you, Matt.
And don't forget his weird little exchange with Raven.
All right, explain that, because I don't even remember that, to be honest.
This was at the POV the POV ceremony. We'll get to that later.
We'll get to that too. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah. We'll get to it.
Okay. So after the veto comp, Alex really mad, and Cody says something that I really liked. He said, every time they do something, it's justified. Every time we do something, it's wrong. Mm-hmm. And that sums up this season even even better than the quote you might have brought up with Mark. Because every time Josh does something mean or out of line, Christmas does something crazy and calls someone kitty boo-boo, whatever the hell that was, they justify it. Yeah. When ELENA does something that's a little off mark, no pun intended, that's a little off kilter, she gets crucified for it. And I'm not saying what she did was wrong, but the whole house mentality is awful. That if X, Y, or Z, Cody, Mark, ELENA does something a little wrong, they're going to destroy him for it. And that's not fun to watch. And if I'm sitting there watching the show, and if I wasn't this invested, I would have shut off already. Because it gets to a point where you don't want to watch, this whole group thing, this, hate to compare it to Nazi Germany, but this Nazi Germany-like hierarchy in the house, it's too much. I hate it. And what in your minds, what has to happen in the next 24 hours, say, for this house to be thrown upside down?
Look, I mean, before we go on to that, I think that this is just the epitome of a wolf pack mentality, right, where one person thinks one thing and they all group up. Whereas the lone wolf, who is Cody in this situation, whatever he does is wrong. Now, call it bullying, call it whatever you want, because if Cody went up to Josh and said, "Hey, you're fat," he's a bully. But when Josh or Christmas goes up to Cody and says, "Hey, you're a U.S. Marine. I don't think you were. You're a disgrace to the Marine Corps," that's not bullying. Now,
in their eyes.
Yeah, in their eyes. And I think that at the end of the day, this is, if you don't know what a Wolfpack mentality is, or if you don't know what ganging up is, this is the epitome of that. Yes. But yeah, I think within the next 24 hours to shake this up and to really like go the opposite way of where everyone else thinks it's gonna go. Please. I think the only possible way that I could foresee at this point is if ELENA does something super crazy and messes like right before the eviction happens, and it puts such a bad taste in people's mouth. Which honestly, I'm not doubting ELENA. ELENA might do that.
Please do it.
So I hope it happens, because I kind of want to see Cody in this house. As much as if you like him or hate him, I'm not saying if I love him. I'm not saying that I hate him. but he's a great character and he adds some drama to this game. We don't want to just see a cakewalk for Paul. If we wanted to see a cakewalk from Paul, we would just rewind to BB16 and watch Derek Levasseur march ahead of the end.
There's a difference between Derek Levasseur and Paul. Derek Levasseur was...
We'll get to it. Because after we're going to compare Derek, Austin has been waiting this whole time to lace in to kill Paul, to destroy his game, so we're going to let Austin do that after the recap. Okay, so now I want you guys to rate the costumes. We have Jason get the extreme attard, which I despise because Jason's like the guy who wants that type of thing.
Yeah.
And he's like enjoying it. You want someone to hate it. That's fun to watch. Okay, then we have Paul and Christmas get the skydiving suit. Why pick the girl whose leg doesn't work? I don't know.
It's kind of funny to see Paul suffer.
Paul pick that?
He picked Christmas.
He picked Christmas because he wanted to cuddle with her.
He has a girlfriend. All right. Enough of this home wrecking stuff. Then Then Alex gets the camp counselor thing where she has to roast weenies and hand it out to people.
In my opinion, the worst punishment in Big Brother history. Honestly, in my opinion. All right, now look at it from. Let's just compare it to what we know and like recent. Let's compare it to Paulie's American Pie thing. Now, every time the little like American anthem came on, Paulie had to bake a pie, and the entire duration of the pie, he had to wave the flag. Now, that was horrible, but as horrible as it is, every time if you guys didn't watch this episode, every time the horn whistles, Alex has to lug probably 40 pounds of camp gear out wherever to one of the designated areas, set up an entire camp, which means tents, blankets, a grill, sleeping bags, and then she has to cook a hot dog for every single person in the house and hand it to every single person. And that's every time the thing. At the end of it, she has to pack it all back up and walk away with it. Now, in my opinion, that would be way more excruciating than baking a pie.
Or yelling extreme or whatever.
Yeah, yelling extreme. At that point, it's just catering to...
So can we agree Alex is the worst?
Yeah, by far.
Then Paul and Christmas would probably have to be two, right?
Yeah.
Extreme is just you.
Yeah.
You're tethered to another person. So we go Alex is the worst. Then the skydiving tandems.
Oh no, the timer is always the worst. It's I would say that's the worst I've ever seen. Remember Brittany?
I was just gonna bring that up.
Remember Brittany from Big Brother 16 had the 1,000 goals. That makes your foot go numb.
I want to be honest, Austin. Suck it up, Brittany Martinez. Suck it up, whatever the hell.
Doctor.
Okay, so Brittany Martinez, shout out to you, girl. So then we have I'm talking pretty loud, sorry. Then we do our classic Outback Steakhouse dinner commercial. And something that really bothered me, within the first few seconds, Christmas cheers to friendship. Paul wasn't even at this dinner. And they're cheersing to friendship. You know you're brainwashed when they're talking about friendship and Paul is not existent.
I think, you know what this proves to me? Genuinely, I think that in this house, they're not under Paul's spell as much as they're under what they think America's spell is.
Yeah.
Because coming into the game, they don't see what we see. They don't see how almost cringy Paul has become. And I think that last season he was so beloved. Everyone was aware of how loved he was by America. His best friend won. Who won the Victor? Yeah, his best friend won the America's Favorite Player. He came in second place, and everyone was outraged on Twitter. I think that coming into the game, they're under the impression the first week they had the friendship bracelets by Big Brother, so they know Big Brother loves him, they know America loves him, so they're under this spell per se that America loves him and they want to be loved.
Yeah, they
want to be loved, so they appeal to him. He has Josh in every DR session. He goes, "Your boy." He calls himself "Your boy." He has Christmas yelling friendship at Outback Steakhouse dinners that he's not even present at. And he just has people, literally Alex saying that she wants him to win because she wants to appeal to America and be like, I want Paul to win too. But she isn't aware that Paul's kind of 50-50, I feel like, at this point.
I have to bring something up real quick. So apparently Alex is uncovered a new strategy. She wants to go to Final 2 with Paul.
Yep.
She wants to lose, and she wants to come back next season as a vet and win. That's what she said.
Hey, kudos to that
strategy. Hey, she's as cute just like Otev. No, but my thing about Paul is...
Okay.
You put him in the house. Probably one of America. If he wasn't Final 2,
he was the favorite.
He was America's favorite.
Yeah.
He comes in. Look at his intro. The way he turns. It's really. This is not Big Brother anymore. This is cult. This is a social experiment. What happens if you take a semi-famous, basically America's favorite, put in the house, convince everybody that he is America's favorite, and follow him? And Cody was the only one to see right through it. And he got crucified. He got outcast. This is why the season's kind of beautiful in a sense. It's beautiful, and we're watching a social experiment, not a game anymore.
Wow.
But my thing is, Paul did something really cringy tonight. Two things really cringy tonight. One, every time that little Vito came on, every time a person from his season was on, he'd be like, Meech! He'd be like, oh, Paulie, yeah, I was there, guys. He's still vet-splaining the people.
57 days in the house or something like that.
He's vet-splaining. Yeah,
and then, like, you have, like, Alex and Jason will be like, he just knows the game more than we do. And of course, he's the greatest player, one of the greatest players.
They're all vets at this point. You play 56 days, you're all a vet. Big Brother.
Especially when you make it to jury.
Yeah,
if the people who made it to, like, at the end of the day, even the people who got out second or third are vets. If you make it to jury, you're a true Big Brother vet. Like, you made it past the hump of Big Brother. That's like personally my biggest fear in the game is getting out one of the first few, going into the Big Brother, going through the entire process of being casted, and then getting voted out like second week. That would be the worst case scenario from a super fan standpoint. But to make it to jury, you shouldn't. Like, if I was Max, I'll be pissed that I'll be like, okay, Paul, we're all vets at this point. Yeah. So I mean,
no, I get it.
They've had vets. They've had vets that have had Davon come back. 21 days. I know Davon, her first season, she was 21 days. She comes back as a vet. She's considered a vet. So everyone at this point in the house is considered a vet.
Right. Okay, so we finished that.
I didn't say my other Paul.
Sure, say
Paul cringy thing was when Matt had one thing. He's like, "Will you please come with me, Matt? Come with me to the Outback." And Matt's like, and then Paul's like, I don't want to go. You deserve it. Christmas deserves it. You earned it, Christmas. Like, we need Paul's approval to go. To not go with him.
It's awful.
He said, "Treat yourself, dog."
He's sick throwing the Outback Steakhouse thing. Okay, so when my phone turns around, we're gonna see what happened next. Okay, my phone's freezing, and my notes are gone. Well, that's fantastic. We'll just sum up the. Okay, so we do the POV ceremony, and Matt gets up. And he says, okay, I'm going to take Jason off the block. Now, if you're in Matt's shoes and you're not using the veto on yourself, like, he's not just furniture anymore. He's furniture working for the other house guests. Like, before this, okay, Matt just sat there like a limp biscuit. Limp biscuit. Okay, he just sat there.
Down with the noogie.
He just sat there limp, right? He sat there doing nothing. Now, he's doing something, but it's even worse. And another thing that I want to point out about Matt claimed before jury, he goes, don't worry, when jury gets here, I'm going to turn it on. What does he mean by that?
Now, you guys are going to roast me because I honestly, America, I have to apologize because I thought.
America.
Okay. In Big Brother 10, if anybody watched Big Brother 10, Big Brother 14, you rewatch that season. Dan Giesling, widely considered by many to be the greatest of all time. He didn't turn it on. He was essentially playing Matt's game, a little more visible. But he was playing Matt's game, letting everybody do everything. And around this time, around jury, that's when Dan Giesling turns it on.
Season 10, right?
Season 10 and season 14 as well. You didn't really turn it on until like they evicted Boogie.
Sure, okay.
Which was like the 5th week.
I'll give you that. I think he was playing way
harder. But I'm like, you know what? I'm like thinking to myself, no, because he'd be like, I'm sorry, America, we had to vote to evict you. No, I tried to save him. Like, I was expecting Matt to be like, because Matt was like, when I saw that DR of him like saying like, this is embarrassing. The whole kabuple of what was going on with Raven and Josh bullying Jessica, and Matt's like, this is just embarrassing. I'm like, I think there's a game in him. I think there's gonna be some game in him, and I thought this was gonna be the week when he won the beat. I'm like, he's gonna do it. He's gonna save himself, and we're gonna see the real Matt. And then he's like, will you please, Master? Can you please go to the Outback with me?
Cringy. Okay, so Matt uses the veto on Jason, leaving himself, ELENA, and now the new nominee, Cody, on the block. And what that means for Jody, Cody, whoever fans, is that 24 hours from now, there's probably a 99% chance that Cody will not be in the Big Brother house anymore. Now, obviously, what is it? It's midnight here. So in about 21 hours, can Cody do anything to save his game? Nolan.
I think, I'm a believer in anything can happen in the Big Brother house. And crazier things have happened. But in this case scenario, for someone who, look, things change like that for people that, like, it's like an impromptu decision. Like, let's put this person up. They're a pawn. And then all of a sudden they go home. But for Cody, who they've been campaigning for, and the kingpin himself, Paul, has been wanting to get him out again after he got him out and he came back in the house. I just can't foresee an option of where everyone just turns, because I would see if Paul was in the house, I could see. I would be like, okay, maybe he can get this to happen. Yeah. But Paul is so dead set on it that it's not. I can't see it happening. No. I think literally something would have to happen with ELENA where she would have to go crazy,
or die.
Like I said before, or just get into a fight and punch someone and get like evicted. And
I have a morbid scenario I'm gonna put on you guys. Let's say Raven. Okay, she's been talking about her imminent death. It's coming.
Okay.
Raven's gonna die soon. We know it. It's sad. What if it happens tonight?
If she died in the Big Brother
Does
house.
Cody get to stay?
I think the season would be over if she died in the Big Brother house.
All right,
I think they would just call it cancel for the season.
I think they'd hide her. I think they'd say, we're gonna replace her. They'll get like a Raggedy Ann doll with the red hair, and they'll throw her in the corner, and that's Raven. And Cody stays.
Speaking about Raven, that is kind of the upside of what's called of Cody going. There's an all chance they prolong getting rid of Mark and Elena, and they go after Raven because we know once they evict Raven, Raven is going to have a meltdown of which we've never seen.
We're gonna see her fourth personality.
I see them dragging her to 6 or 7 and taking.
But still, we're soon.
It's soonish.
Because she probably thinks, oh, I'm cruising to. Paul's gonna save me. He's gonna get rid of Matt, sadly, but I'm gonna go with Paul.
Do you think? Okay, first of all, no. Before I get to this, let's take some questions.
Yeah.
Right?
So we have a couple questions, and as we're getting a couple questions, feel free to keep asking them because we're gonna take a few. So the first question comes from Alyssa, and she said, "Who do you want to leave tomorrow?"
Oh boy. Okay, who do I
get the pick?
Out of the 3 nominees,
Yes.
I want Matt to leave. And then in the double, if the Big Brother guys are on our side, I think we see Alex go because Paul's not going to go. They're not putting Paul out. If Mark wins HOH, he puts up Alex and Paul. And would they send Alex home though? Jason wouldn't. I don't think Kevin would.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest would, right?
Christmas, Cody,
Josh, Alex goes.
And Elena would even be like, I got to save Paul just to make sure I
And Alex. And Elena.
Alex is gone.
So, Austin, who do you want to leave tomorrow? In not the double eviction, in the main eviction.
Oh,
who do I think or who do I want?
No, who do you want to leave? Out of the 3, and then who would you want to win in double evict?
I want Matt to go because he's furniture.
So you want Matt to leave, and then who do you want to leave in the double evict?
Paul. I think it would be best for the game. I think it would be, but who I realistically think will actually go, I think it's going to be Cody. And who I think is going to win this? It's usually that stupid stupid trivia game. So
they've been practicing the one where it was like one of those crapshoots. I think it was not the golf one because they did that, but it was another crapshoot.
Yeah,
a little thing.
Like probably like a bocce board, like one of those like.
Yeah, it was like something like that. Yeah.
And for me personally, I agree with them, Matt. I would want Matt to go, and I think that in the double eviction, I want Alex to go because I don't want Paul to go yet. I want to see the downfall. I like the downfall. Look at Paulie last year. Now, the next question comes from Bailey. This is a good question. In tonight's episode, they highlighted the fact that Alex and Paul are totally under the radar with their little 2 alliance.
Yeah.
Bailey asked, do you think that Alex and Paul's alliance is actually as low-key as they think?
Absolutely not. Okay, so here's what I think.
Wait, who's the alliance?
Do you think Alex and Paul's little two-person alliance is as low-key?
Here's my take on this. I think everyone in the house knows Alex is with Paul. It's not hard to see that. However, do I think that the house is singling those 2 out and saying, that's a twosome? Absolutely not. I think if there's a twosome that people are pointing out, it's Alex and Jason. So, I mean, can you call it secret if everyone knows they're still working together now?
I don't think it's as secretive as people think. I mean, it's a little visible. But Paul has probably convinced Christmas, he's convinced Josh, and he's convinced Alex, those main 3, that you're my ride or die. He's convinced 3 people that they're ride or die, which is why it's going to be beautiful because it's Paul's game to lose. And
he might lose it.
Because these people are emotional people. These are not rational thinking people. He's going to cut these people, and it's going to hurt. They're going to take it very personally. And we have Cody waiting, who I think is going to be evicted tomorrow. You have Cody waiting in the house. He's going to be like, I told you. And they're going to be like, yeah, Paul lied to us. They're going to find out really hard. They're going to find out before the season is over what Paul is doing.
Okay, next question comes from Carly. Who do you think will get America's favorite player at this point, if you had to pick one? If it ended right now, who would win it?
This is like America's best moron. This sucks.
Look, I think by the end of the game, I think that it's going to be someone like Kevin. I think it's going to be Kevin. But I think if it ended right this second, for whatever reason, the game ended right this second, Jess would have a little bit of a chance. But by the end of the game, Jess is going to be so far gone, she's not going to win.
I think Jess gets 100%.
Do you think, have we ever, when was the last time a pre-jury member has won America's favorite? Never, right?
I mean, Big Brother 14, they thought that Janelle was going to win.
Stupid. Maybe BB6, fine. BB14, no Janelle. Okay, so hold on. Joey's watching. That's nice. Joey, come over.
Yeah, Joey, come over.
Okay, hold on one second. I want to say something.
Okay.
Donnie, the last person, the closest one to the beginning of Joey that won America's favorite was Donnie.
Yeah.
When did he get out? 8th place?
No. Frank was the farthest one. He was like 7th.
The glory of but that's the glory of
that,
jury. The glory of jury
Jury's
is
like
that
6th.
glory of jury is still that they're in the edit.
Yeah.
I could see.
Cody?
Now, hear me out here. The way look, I think Kevin's gonna win. I think if a gun to my head, I had to pick one right now. I think Cody would 100%. Kevin is 100% winning it.
Yeah.
But Cody, the way they're editing him, I could see them editing him in the jury house, like getting along with everyone, all this stuff. I can see him getting a couple votes. So I don't know. I think I would vote Kevin, but I think Cody can pull it out if a miracle on ice.
I think Joey Gatto will win. That's a shout out to Joey.
Yeah, shout out to Joey. He's texting us saying to shout him out.
Joey, come over.
Joey, come over. If you guys are watching right now, we have plans to do a YouTube podcast. So Joey could be our first.
I have a little question that got on top of that. How do you think Alex thinks she's loved by America?
Yes.
Oh, Alex thinks she's the most beloved player, I think. Mm-hmm. Now, the next comes from Chris. If Paul and Christmas were both nominated in a double evict, say, I'm just adding to your question, Chris. Sorry, but say tomorrow comes and they're both nominated, none of them win POV, and it's Christmas and Paul sitting next to each other. Who do you think Josh would vote to evict? Not who you think would go. Who do you think Josh would vote to evict?
That's an amazing. That's awesome.
That's a very good question, Chris.
Okay, he's voiced this to Christmas. He says, Christmas, Paul thinks I'm closer to him, but I'm closer to you. He tells Christmas that. He hasn't told Paul that, I don't think. So I think in his gut of guts, he will vote out Paul.
You think it would be one of those moments where Paul's walking out the door and goes, Josh, what happened? He goes, get the stepping buggy.
Get the stepping buggy.
I am a human being, as you can see.
I am a human being. I think he would vote Paul. Because I think Christmas has got a couple weeks ago, I think Christmas got into his head, whereas this isn't Paul's game. I think Alex is another case, because I think Alex is playing Paul's game. I think Josh is independent. I think at the end of the day, Josh knows that he's playing his own game, and that if it comes down to it, he can get rid of Paul. I think let's take, for example, I'll throw a hypothetical out to you guys. In the situation where Derek Levasseur, Cody, and Victoria are sitting on the final 3, and Cody had the perfect opportunity to win it and bring Victoria to the final 2, and potentially win, probably. Yeah. Instead, he brought Derek because he was loyal to Derek. Now, I think if that was the same case scenario with Alex and Paul, she would take Paul, just like Cody took Derek. But I think in that case scenario, Josh would cut Paul off and take the person who he knows he could beat.
I think I have some good figure in language for this. All of Paul's minions are like dogs in a cage, and Josh gets like free reign in the living room. Like, he's a little more free than the others. The others are cooped up. He has some type of freedom where he's thinking for himself ever so slightly. So Josh, you're right, would cut Paul more likely than Alex, more likely than Jason, maybe even more likely than Kevin. But at the end of the day, I think he'd go to the final 2 with Paul and lose and be content with that.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is you want to see a relationship. No, Josh, I believe that Josh, he's still closest with Josh, because he's closer to Josh than Christmas. I mean, that was just a little bit of an edit. At the end of the day, Josh loves Paul. He will listen to Paul. Just remember when they were fighting with Jess and Cody, and he was like, he was just walking like confidently. He's doing his little stride. He's like, Josh, pots and pans now. And he's like, got it.
Got it. Now, this will be the last question we take before giving our predictions for the double eviction. This comes from Lodge Wars 95. Do you think that there's a chance that the vote split so much that Matt goes home? Low key praying it happens. Mm-hmm. I know where you're coming from right now, Lodge. I know where you're coming from, because I'm kind of hoping it happens too, but I don't think so. I'm really sorry. I just don't see it happening. What do you think, Nick?
Paul's got a stranglehold on his house, and they're scared to even send one vote away from Cody.
Yes.
They're all going to put their votes on Cody. He's going to go on, 7-0, I think it is?
6-1, maybe.
Who's going to vote?
Mark, maybe.
But Mark is still, like, at the back of his mind, he kind of wants to work with Paul, but he knows he can't. So I don't think anyone's going to send a vote away. I think that Cody goes home 7-0. Matt gets all fine. Elena gets all fine, and we see a boring.
Yeah, Matt won't get a vote. Sorry, but maybe Elena. Maybe Elena will get a vote.
Okay, now I like to take it to predictions. We'll go around the table, and what you want to happen and what you think will happen in tomorrow's double eviction. Now, if you guys are watching, there's a double eviction tomorrow, if you don't know, which is a full week of Big Brother played in one day, as the great Julie Chen explains it. Now, so we're going to say what we think is going to happen after we all agree that we think Cody's going home.
Right.
So what's going to happen after Cody goes home? Who's the next person to walk behind him in jury? Nick, who do you want and who do you think it's going to be?
Who do I want? I want Alex because I know Paul's not realistic, so I want Alex.
Okay.
And who I think, I don't want to say this because he's my favorite in the house right now, but Mark's probably going to be the next one out.
Mm-hmm. Austin?
Same thing. I think I want Alex because I want to see Paul. I don't want Paul's what's called watch to end right now, but do I think is going to go? Not Mark. I can see Mark doing because it's a clown shoe competition,
sure.
Double eviction. So Mark has a very good chance of winning. It's probably gonna be
Rest in peace, Jeff Schroeder.
It's gonna be ELENA.
I agree with both of them with who I want. I want Alex out, but I think that what is Big Brother double evictions notorious for? The second person who goes home is always furniture. So who do I think is going home? I think Matt's gonna go home. I think it's gonna come down to it. Something's weird's gonna happen. I can't put my finger on what I just see Matt. I don't know. It's the weird intuition in me that says Matt is going to be the one walking out.
What I think had happened is exactly what I said. The clown shoe competition, they put up Mark and ELENA. They put up Matt and they're like, let's get Matt out right now.
Over ELENA?
Yeah, it's like
Matt's expendable. He's the most expendable.
Does Raven cry hysterically?
Absolutely. In a minute.
All the makeup running down her face.
She's like, yes. Look, all of you.
Does she cry before the picture goes black and white or during?
Oh, she cries immediately as soon as he says, Matt, you have been evicted. And she's like, what?
No, because I love for that to happen. Because then Raven might potentially say, okay, I got to work with the other showmans. Let's take the three of us and try to win. That doesn't sound as good after I say it out loud.
Okay, so is that it? We're all good?
Wanted to answer a couple more.
If there's a couple more questions, I just ran out of questions.
Okay.
So
yeah, if that's enough, then that's enough.
So yeah, has Mark ever been aware of Cody's distrust?
Has Mark ever been aware of? Yeah, he knows. Yeah. They talk about it. I think today and yesterday, Alex was actually telling Mark that Cody's been talking shit about you, that Cody's been trashing you a little bit, and Mark was like, "Oh, I know." I think Mark and Cody are more together on a personal level as opposed to a game level because they talk game, but it's not like these incredibly in-depth strategy talks. It's more like, oh, I wish we could have done this from the beginning.
Yeah. Chris also said, I think if Mark won veto, whoever would put up Kevin. I think that's it. It would be possible. See, I think if Kevin ended up on the block, I know they're editing it as Alex and Paul are like, yeah, he's not trustworthy. But at this point in the game, I can't see Kevin going home. I can't see them getting enough votes for people saying, I want Kevin out. I think he still has the trust of most of the people in the house. And I think whoever, unless he's sitting next to Paul or someone who is on that side, like hardcore, like very strong in that alliance, I can't see Kevin going home. Because if Kevin's sitting up there, Kevin would be sitting up there against someone like Mark or ELENA or Matt, where they'll just cut out the more expendable person. So
I agree. So want to just clarify what we're doing tomorrow? We're at double eviction chat.
Yep.
Double eviction episode.
Yep.
Then we're gonna get on Adam. Will be back. Austin will be back one of these, probably in the next week or so. We'll have you back. And do you have anything else to say?
So tomorrow I'll forfeit my head chair back to Adam.
Wait, can I just do my little thing on Paul? About
okay, yeah, do it. Go for it.
All right, this is now a little segment I call Austin's thoughts.
Oh my god.
Here we go.
No, this is I see a lot of comparisons of Derek Levasseur and Paul, and there's a huge difference between Paul and Derek Levasseur's game. They are playing a very similar game in that they controlled the house, but Derek Levasseur did it in a way where nobody kind of knew he was doing it. The opposing side didn't realize that Derek was doing because they would make the decision. They would make the decision of, okay, let's get out Amber this week. But then Derek would do something. Derek would convince that little council, which was like the regulators, not the regulators, the bomb squad, and the bomb squad / detonators.
Sorry to anyone listening on the podcast who just murdered their ears.
The bomb squad / detonators. He would have that little council meeting, like, okay, we're getting Amber out this week. And then he'd be like, okay, we're going to do it this way, this way, this way. And everybody's like, yeah. Then he would go down to Amber and befriend Amber, or he would befriend Donnie, or he would befriend Brittany. And he would become good friends with them, or Nicole, or Hayden. And he'd be like, what's up, buddy? Hey, what's up? And then he would like talk about them. And as the week progressed, they would start to realize, oh, God, I'm going home this week. And then they would go to Derek, because now Derek's their best friend, and be like, Derek, do I have any chance to go? Derek would be like, sorry, I tried. And Derek did in a way of kind of like kind of like nice. He did a nice thing. He never ever made the game.
He did the old hug and stab in the back.
Like
while
he never ever made the game personal. Paul's kind of like disgusting to watch. It's like he made it so personal, attacking, bullying. Derek was just by the books, boring. It was like watching a pitcher throw a perfect game. That's what it was. There was nothing. It was just like a spectacle. You didn't want to see it because it was like seeing a player you hate throw a perfect game. It was like, ugh. But you respect it. You're like, tip my cap.
Okay, so we like to thank all of you guys who joined us in the live chat and who listened on the podcast.
SoundCloud?
Or on SoundCloud. Thank you guys all for coming. Tomorrow we'll be back with the live eviction episode. It'll be a big episode. We'll have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be very juicy. Hopefully it's very juicy. Hopefully furniture doesn't go home again. But yeah, thank you guys all so much for coming. We'll talk to you tomorrow. We'll see you later.
What? See you guys.
See you later.
See you tomorrow. All right, cool.
Peace.